Evans, where's that package from Earth?
I'm not Evans!
You should have used Planet Express.
Thanks everybody for joining us on SlothLabs Builds, where today we are bringing you Planet Express.
Now sound happy.
Thanks everybody for joining us on SlothLabs Builds, where today we are bringing you Planet Express.
Is that what you... Thanks everybody for joining us on our very first episode of SlothLabs Builds, where today we're bringing you Planet Express.
So in order to understand the building's aesthetics, we have to go through the painstaking task of just rewatching all the Futurama episodes until we fully grasp what the architecture is.
Yeah, and from there, we got this digital model ready for fabrication.
All right, so the first fabrication equipment we start with is 3D printing.
Right, this is gonna take the most time out of anything, so we try to get these parts out of the way.
Yeah, but this is also like my favorite part. .3D printing is a little rough, so we have to sand everything down to get rid of the contours that you see or the layering that happens. And then sometimes parts do break. It happens, but you don't have to reprint the whole thing. Instead, you can just print the part that broke and then resecure it to the original print.
The pieces are done, and now we're gonna move on to a base coat of primer paint. This is gonna help all of the other colors we're gonna be applying later down the line to better adhere to all of these surfaces. And now that all the base is on, we go on to our custom color palettes that we've made from just whatever colors we had and picked up and thought were close to the original. These colors were not by any means your standard reds and blues. We had to make them up as we went and try to match them as close to the eye.
Parts that existed before we painted, and then after all the hand painting, spray painting, texturing.
Hours of painting.
Some hours that we forgot to fill.
A lot of hours we forgot to film.
Next time. So our next step is laser cutting. We have a great machine for this and we love to use it. Right here, you actually see the cut times for all the materials in this project.
Yeah, we really need this YouTube thing to pay off because that laser was fucking expensive. So please, guys, like and subscribe. Anyways, we're gonna move on to putting together the acrylic pieces, sanding, puttying, and prepping them for paint like we did with the 3D prints. Now, the only difference is with the acrylic, we do have to putty any creases or any joints when two pieces meet so that they look flush and smooth.
So just as we applied the primer to the 3D printed parts, we're also going to apply primer and blackout paint to these laser cut parts. The reason why we're applying blackout paint is because later on in the model, we'll actually be including interior lighting.
Right, the black paint helps to diffuse any light to pass through these materials that actually are thin enough for light to glow through them. So once we're done with the blackout paint and the base primer paint, we're gonna move on to the base colors of the street and sidewalk.
So we want to apply texture to this by speckling different tones of spray paint over the top of these materials.
Right, like your whites, light grays, and it gives it a lot more depth to the streets and to the sidewalks. And after that, we move on to the base colors of the primary building, mullions, and details.
And you can see from that last spray paint of this building, we didn't get the color quite right, so we actually had to start hand painting over that. And Alex did a damn good job, I think.
Yeah, after like 5 goddamn layers. But anyways, we got it done, it looks great, and here's the final product. Finally, after completing all of that prep work, we're finally ready to build. Finally. So now we move on to the main portion of this video. I'm gonna be working on the tower and dome, putting the windows in.
And I'll be on the base, putting together the site and the exterior walls. So what happens here is, this is the interior. We built this separate just because it made it easier for us to actually be able to get in there and do the detail before securing it to the site. What you see here is just us putting together the cool little details we like on the interior, such as the conference room, which has the professor's office chair as a lazy boy, and the downstairs lab.
Yeah, we actually did these off the model because you could see how much of a pain it'd be working within a confined space or the model itself. So these were done off the site and now they're ready to go plug and play.
So after I secure the exterior walls on the site, I can put the piece that we just talked about assembling onto the building without having to worry about getting in there and getting all those nitty-gritty details.
And as he's doing that, I'm putting on the Planet Express railing onto the platform around the dome. Don't worry about the tape. Nothing happened there, all right? I figured it out.
I mean, a lot of wasted time happened.
No. Nothing happened. It was quick. Railing went on perfect. Just glued it straight on, leveled it out by eye. Awesome.
It's sped up this film. It still looks like it's taking a while.
Talk about what you're doing now.
Oh yeah, so I'm just working on the back of the building here, putting on the details for the vents and the electrical that'll eventually hook up to the power line. Then I can move on to the interior. There are still a few more details just that have to go on the interior of the exterior walls, such as the air ducts and some stairs leading up to the laboratory.
And as he's putting in those details, you can see I'm applying this thick black acrylic coat of paint on the interior of the dome. So this is similar to blacking out the acrylic pieces. It's gonna help any light to prevent from leaking outside. God damn. It's gonna prevent any light from leaking, okay? Same thing. Anyways.
That was a better take. Now we can move on to the exterior details since the walls and the two sides are up.
And I'm working on that piece of the building that kind of sticks out into the water. We cut out some translucent rectangles to act as the glass and glued it onto the site.
Super Dance Squad, initiate!
All right, so now that the tower and building are mostly complete, we can combine the two.
All right, I'm gonna be finishing up the dome and now I'm moving on to my favorite thing. It takes me super quick time, railings. I'm awesome at it, it's perfect. So now you could watch as I am perfectly placing these railings so delicately, so masterfully, and I give it to Justin. And watch.
I mean, it was an accident.
No, we're perfect, okay? We cannot do this, especially on camera.
All right, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But, you know, you can still come help.
No, I'm at this point, I'm taking a break.
All right, so I worked diligently and quickly to put the railing back on.
No, he took forever. Don't let him lie to you.
And then I secured the slab that's now been certified and approved by Alex.
Yes, passed inspection, you're welcome.
All right, well, now we can move on to the bay doors.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Justin do this because he needs help with sanding.
You just waved me away, and it looks like you're walking off for another break, and I'm stuck doing it again.
It was hard.
I get it. If it's gotta be done right, have Justin do it.
Not true. Anyways, we finished up the bay doors, and now the model is mostly complete.
Missing something.
Complete. There you go.
I love the ship.
Ship or ship? You gotta pronounce it like ship. I swear, most of the time I
this
hear
ship.
Shit, all right? All right, now that we're all done with the main building and site, we move on to the final piece, the frame.
After the pieces have been cut to size, we sand them smooth and then apply a seal to the wood. That just is amazing.
So satisfying.
That's weird, dude.
Shh, just let me have it.
that makes it even weirder.
So nice.
All right, now that we're all fully creeped out, we moved on to our frame, assembling them with our little 3D printed parts. These help to keep the site model at the correct level.
After that, we move on to the resin. We mixed a bunch of random blues. We gotta make this like nasty bay water. So we just try to find the greens and blues, mix it up well, and pour it on site after sealed.
Yeah, after sealed.
It makes sense, shut up. Move on, tell them about the pipe.
So right before the resin fully cures, we add the final details and apply a heat gun to pop all the air bubbles.
And once it does cure, we're gonna move on to the light core. This was a LED light strip that we wrapped around,
Translucent.
yes.
Acrylic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, translucent acrylic laser cut piece 1/8 sheet.
Two descriptions.
Acrylic
What are you doing? They
pieces.
don't care.
And it diffuses the light. After that, we're gonna glue on the tower and dome.
Yeah, so we're also going to apply these details as to the electrical tower we mentioned before, and the back area has a little bit of grass, so we apply a nice texture to this styrene piece that we cut.
Yeah, if you look at any reference that you could find on the back of the Futurama, it doesn't look nice green grass. It's kind of dead and stuff, so we
It's
try
mostly
to
dirt, yeah.
Yeah, we try to replicate that as much as possible.
After installing the electrical tower and a few more details,
Off camera.
we can now call this build complete.
Feast your eyes on this!
It's beautiful and huge.
Can I touch it?
I don't know. I'm beginning to have some second thoughts.
All right, so the build is complete.
Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching. It was actually a blast building our first model.
Ship flew in.
Yeah, I saw that, Justin.
How to make the sound effects?
Can I talk to the people? Anyways, we had a lot of fun building the model, adding all these details, and we hope you guys watch for future to come. For years to come.
For the future builds to come.
Future builds to come, thank you.
At least once a year, I like to bring in some of my Kevin's famous chili.
I'm serious about this stuff.
All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Peace.
Check our video next month.
Or in a year.